ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. I'm feeling really bad today, guys. I think I got the flu or something, so I'm going to be off camera so that I can still talk a little bit and Teddy can show you the graphics cards. And today we're going to be putting up the Gigabyte Gaming OC GTX1070Ti against the Gigabyte Aorus GTX1070. So a more standard model of 1070 Ti against a very good model of GTX1070. So differences wise, well, they both run the same 16nm FinFET GP104 Pascal GPU. The 1070 Ti has 2,432 CUDA cores compared to the 1,920 of the GTX1070. Now they both have the same amount and same type of memory, 8GB of GDDR5 at 8000 MHz on a 256-bit bus for both of them. 1070 Ti is coming with 180 watt TDP compared to the 150 watt TDP of the 1070. And as far as the coolers themselves go, the Gaming OC 1070 Ti is basically a G1 Gaming featuring their WindForce cooler, where the Aorus 1070 is much bigger by comparison. Much bigger cooler, much bigger heat sinks, another power connector. It also has upgraded components, and it's more fully built for overclocking. You can still overclock with the Gaming OC, but the Aorus sort of takes it to the next level, in theory anyway. So the 1070 Ti went up to 1923 MHz in its OC mode, whereas the 1070 went up to 2037 MHz in its OC mode, both with memory at 8000 MHz. Once overclocked, the 1070 Ti managed 2070 MHz with memory speed of 8600 MHz, whereas the Aorus 1070 managed 2126 MHz with memory sitting at 8850 MHz. So a bit of a jump up there. So let's get into the benchmarks. I'll show you guys the stock results, which basically just means them in their OC mode, which you can set them to with Gigabyte software out of the box, and them overclocked, and let's see how they perform. And we're back. So what do we make of the benchmarks? Well, the 1070, both in its stock OC mode and overclocked, had the clock speed advantage, especially in terms of memory, once overclocked over the 1070 Ti. But we still see, if we look at the average FPS now, that the overclocked 1070 was still 7.3% slower than the overclocked 1070 Ti and 6.9% slower than the stock 1070 Ti. And this is pretty much what I was expecting. At the end of the day, it still comes down to CUDA cores, and Nvidia really know their product line. So with more, similar model, the same model of 1070 and 1070 Ti, I would imagine you'd see around, a 9% difference, maybe 10% in certain games, and that's pretty much what Nvidia was expecting with this GPU. Temperature-wise, generally saw lower temps on the Aorus, although it does run a more aggressive fan curve. So for this, I used the Unigine Valley benchmark on the Extreme HD preset. And as you can see, both of them did well. Aorus doing better, to be expected though. Even when overclocked, on both of them the temps were nice and low, so no issues here. Noise, both of them were reasonably quiet in their stock form, and they did get a little bit louder once overclocked, but not really by that much. But I'll let you guys judge for yourself. So this is when they're in their stock form. I'll show you the Gaming OC 1070 Ti first, and then the Aorus 1070. This was also done while they were running the Unigine Valley benchmark. So that gives you an idea of the noise, which brings us to the conclusion. We have to bring price into the equation. So the Gaming OC GTX1070 Ti comes in at 869 New Zealand dollars at Playtech, which is a fair bit of money. The Aorus 1070 is coming in at $789, so it's $80 less. Now, it's hard to say which one's really the winner, because the performance improves at a similar rate as the price increases. So value-wise, it's pretty much the same. I think with the 1070, the 1070 Ti, and the 1080, you just have to, really hang out for good deals or specials, and that way, you'll land yourself a bargain. But at the end of the day, I think most 1080p gamers will do just fine with a GTX 1070. And even a lot of 1440p gamers will be fine with it, especially the ones at 60Hz. But the high refresh rate guys at 1440p, they will obviously trend more towards things like the 1080. So that's basically how it sums up this video. Yeah, you just have to see which one's a good deal at a time, hang out for good deals, and then, make your decision from there. But on average, you're going to get between sort of 7 to 9% performance increase going with the 1070 Ti over the GTX 1070, depending on the model. I thank you all for watching this video. I hope you guys can forgive me for feeling very sick and me not being on camera today. As always, I'll see you guys next time.